Okay, boys, let's do this. My friends, I'm Professor Hans von Puppet. A lot of YouTubers stay away from political content, afraid of alienating half of their fan base for being too right or too left. If you know me, you know where I stand. But this video is not about taking sides. It's about understanding, or at least trying to understand the ununderstandable. Donald Trump.
Donald Trump, funny-looking billionaire.
As the months pass leading up to the U.S. primary elections, the one candidate in the Republican field who keeps hanging in there in the lead despite saying horrible things and pretty much everyone thinking he's an asshole is Donald Trump. Why?
What's the deal with this guy?
He has famously said Mexicans are rapists, Muslims should be banned from coming to the country, and that his simple-minded plans, which he still hasn't really explained to anyone, are somehow the solutions that America needs. Liberals hate him, conservatives hate him. He said something to offend everyone, but paradoxically, he's still way out in front of the competition. Why?
Why?
In an attempt to figure all of this out today, my friends, I present to you my 5 theories of Donald Trump.
How is this happening?
Theory number 1, he's kidding. Sure, that's it, he must be kidding. Maybe he's just a bored rich guy with lots of time on his hands, and he gets a kick out of being on TV insulting people. He keeps saying crazier and crazier things, figuring, okay, hang on, this will make everyone lose their minds. Stuff like, hey, my daughter's very attractive. You know, if Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her.
He wants to sleep with his daughter.
He really said that a couple of times. Maybe he's just pushing us to see how much we'll take because he thinks it's funny. Maybe he's just doing a gigantic piece of performance art. Is that possible?
Probably not.
No, I don't think so. That level of satire would require a lot of acting talent and a level of intelligence which I believe Mr. Trump lacks. In short, even though he thinks he's a genius, it's very unlikely he's actually smart enough to fake being that dumb.
He's also got tiny hands.
Okay, well, maybe it's theory number 2. He's an idiot.
He's an idiot with $1 billion.
But, Professor, you're asking, how could he get to be a billionaire if he's such an idiot? Well, first you start with $1 million from your rich father. Then you make a lot of investments that completely fail, like many of his casinos have. And you get bailed out by the corporate welfare of the bankruptcy system, so you don't lose your personal fortune. Trump's business background is filled with such failures, but he is playing at a very high level. And he's had a lot of successes too. He has been a one-percenter since way before we even knew what one-percenters were.
He put his name on a lot of gold buildings.
Once you get to be super rich, your money pretty much grows on its own. America's tax laws have been so eased on the super rich over the past few decades that a billionaire with minimally competent people managing his investments has to spend hand over fist just to keep his fortune from snowballing. I estimate he has to spend several millions of dollars a week just to keep his net worth from growing. So he could be rich and still an idiot, which would explain his simple-minded playground bully worldview.
Kinda like Biff from Back to the Future 2.
But he is witty in his own way. He certainly is able to zing the other Republican candidates in the debates. So he's probably not a complete idiot. So maybe it's number 3. He's right. Maybe Muslims are a fundamental evil that should be repelled from the country at all costs. Maybe Mexicans are just coming up here to rape us and take our coveted sub-minimum wage jobs. Maybe women do have zero value unless they're sexy models in their 20s who can be corralled and judged. Maybe it's true that Trump's business experience selling expensive real estate in New York, having fake meetings on TV, bankrupting casinos, and putting his name on giant gold buildings would better qualify him to be president than any of those losers who have wasted their careers in government or public service. Well, no, I don't think he's right about any of those things. But you know, it might be theory number 4. He's a mole.
Small mammal, very furry. Small eyes, large paws for digging.
No, not the actual earth-burrowing creature. Well, now that you mention it. No, I meant more of a mole, like a spy. Maybe he's a shill for the Democratic Party. I know it sounds crazy, but he's supported liberal causes in the past. I believe he's been pro-choice, he's for banning assault weapons, he's even for gay marriage and Planned Parenthood. Or he was before he started trying to convince Republicans to vote for him. He called out George Bush for September 11. He's even given money to Democratic candidates, including Hillary Clinton. Maybe he's not interested in winning at all, but is just trolling the entire Republican Party.
He's a troll. That explains the hair.
In a field of elephants, he's become the only real elephant in the room, eating all the peanuts, knocking over all the furniture, and making it impossible for any of the other less sensationalistic candidates to make much of an impression on their fractured constituency.
He's eaten all the peanuts.
When he eventually flakes off, or decides he's bored, or more likely doesn't win the nomination, whoever's left will be so limp and boring by comparison, and so far behind in the popular consciousness that there won't be much competition for Bernie or for Hillary. Actually, whether he's a mole or not, I think that's bound to be the result. But perhaps it's not so insidious. Perhaps it's just theory number 5.
He don't give a fuck.
Sing it, boys!
He don't give a fuck.
You will find very little disagreement with the observation that Donald Trump is a very rich, very arrogant person. He'd probably agree with that himself. He divides the world into winners like him and losers like everybody else. Even if he loses, he'll say he's a winner.
He don't give a fuck.
He has more money than he could possibly ever spend. His businesses that support him are chiefly high-end real estate, not things that popular opinion has any effect on.
He don't give a fuck.
He has his own billions to spend on his campaign, and he doesn't even have to spend any of it because he gets an unlimited amount of free coverage from the news media whenever he says another outrageous, terrible thing. So it's costing him very little to be on TV every day, boosting his brand that he will carry on using to sell more books, build more tall buildings, and make more reality TV shows for the rest of his life. He may really mean some of the awful things he says, but he may also just be speaking without thinking.
He don't give a fuck.
He don't give a fuck because he only gets more press by being more outrageous. People have not given a fuck in the past, but Donald Trump has reached a virtuoso level of non-giving. Even if he drops out tomorrow, he'll be able to brag about how well he did. He's the least politically correct political person we've ever seen, and I think that might be the key to his surprising popularity.
He don't give a fuck.
He's a brute who seems to believe his own ideas with complete confidence, and that is appealing to some people.
He don't give a fuck.
His asinine ideas have the look and feel of common sense, no-nonsense, tough love measures, and he can say them all with a straight face.
He don't give a fuck.
The trouble is, to be a good president, you actually have to give a fuck.
He don't give a fuck. He don't give a fuck.
So what do you think? What's your favorite theory of Donald Trump? Let me know down in the comments. Be sure to pass this one around. All your Facebook chums will love it. And thanks to my buddies RKVC for being in this video and making the music for me. And to the whole crew at the YouTube space for pitching in. We should have a shorter version of this song as well as a clean version for you on iTunes and CD Baby, whatever that is. Anyway, check the description for links. Thanks for watching, and please be sure to vote. This is your country after all. Don't let a bunch of other people make all the decisions. I see you later.
He don't give